Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Mixed Texan Report. Glad to be with you today. Now, before we get started, let's talk about my friends at My Patriot Supply. It is always great to be prepared. You never know what's going to happen. We're living in tough times. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world with the war in Ukraine. You have protests going on in the Netherlands, the fight between the farmers and the globalist regime out there. You have food processing plants being burned down over here. Is it by accident? It could be, but I don't know. But it's best to be prepared. Click the link in the box and get stocked up with My Patriot Supply. I've already done it. I have a couple of weeks worth of food with them on top of what I already have. So get prepared today. All right, let's get started on this video. So I want to talk about this video I came across. As you see right here, Biden voters regret their 2020 choice 18 months into his presidency. Now, it's a 5-minute clip. We're going to watch it together. I'm going to break it down as it goes, so we're not going to watch it straight through. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, watch it straight through, so I'm going to break it down for you and talk about each person here. So, I found this to be very interesting. I think a lot of people feel this way across the country. So this is going to be a big factor here in November and in 2024. Now let's get started with the video.
I voted for Biden back in 2020, and I seriously regret it.
In 2020, I voted for Joe Biden, and I now see that as a mistake.
I voted for Biden in 2020, and I definitely regret voting for him. I will not do it again.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory.
Growing up, I thought that Democrats were for everybody, especially, like I said, specifically for Black people. And I kind of had that, I was programmed in a sense with that Democratic, savior type of situation. Going into, the 2020 election, I was all for Biden. That's who I voted for. I was like, okay, Biden's gonna have change. He's for everyone. And I was underneath the impression that he was going to do what he was gonna say he was gonna do and not, be lying. I just found out the hard way, unfortunately, that, Biden isn't who he says he is. And that it seems like Democrats, in a sense, they just want to keep us in the same spot, in the same place, more so dependent on them, dependent on the government. And I just feel like as a whole, we're just stagnant. Black people were kind of trapped, and we're trapped in the vicious cycle of believing what Democrats tell us. And that's what I was for my whole entire life. I believed everything they told me. I believe they're going to make things better. And if you look at the track record of history, they really haven't. They haven't done anything for us, for anybody, really.
I started noticing that
Now that is a very intelligent young man. He, like you said, he found out the hard way. But he is very intelligent. He understands that he believed a narrative that he was told for a long time. Democrats are for Black people. They're for the people. They're going to take care of you. They're going to make everything better. And that's what I believed when I was younger. So fortunately, I woke up, and I talked about this in a previous video. But, we are told that Democrats are for the blacks and Latinos, and that they're going to fix everything. They're going to solve all your problems, whatever that may be. But he says he believed what the media was telling, what he's being told about Democrats, and he found out the hard way. He saw that after Biden was installed, that he just didn't live up to his expectations. He didn't do what he was saying he was going to do. Now he said he expected Biden to do what he promised to do and make things better, whatever. He was for everybody, but we already had a president that was for everybody. We had a president who was who brought economic prosperity to the entire country. Lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, 3.5%. Tax cuts, deregulations, securing the border. I mean, so you had him, a president who was for the American people. You know, fighting ISIS, going toe to toe with China. Vladimir Putin was quiet. So you had an American president who was for the American people and for the people of this country. So I don't understand why people were saying, well, Biden was for everybody. He was going to do it, you know, what we wanted to do. What did you want Biden to do? You already had $2 gas. You had a robust economy. So what is it that you wanted from Biden? I don't understand. But this guy, I'm very proud of this guy. Whoever he is, I would love to talk to him. He seems like a very intelligent young man. And he seems like what I've seen from other people. You know, I know people who thought the same thing, that, you know, they thought the Democrat Party was good for them. They're going to make things better. And you look at the track record, they haven't done anything. And like Charles Barkley said, I believe this is a direct quote. I mean, I believe are his exact words. If I'm not, we can look it up. But Charles Barkley said, black people have been voting Democrat for 50 years and are still poor. And he's absolutely right. You know, I'm half black, and I've talked about this. And the Democrat Party hasn't done anything for black people. Now, do I want a president who's going to do things only for black people? No. I want to do things for everybody. Barack Obama didn't do a gosh dang thing for the black community. If that's what you're looking for, Barack Obama didn't do a thing. Trump did more for black people than Obama did. And Trump was the so-called racist, you know? But he did more to improve the quality of the lives of black people than Obama did. Quick story. I read there were different people being interviewed about Trump, and people who may have liked him and didn't like him and what they thought about him. And one guy he was a black guy, and I believe he owned a trucking business or something. And he said, look, I don't like Trump. I don't like him as a person. I don't like things he says, but I respect him as a man because he takes care of his family, and I take care of my family. I run a business. He has businesses, and he's done great things for me and for my business. I've been thriving since he's been in office. So I can respect him as a man because he takes care of business. And that's what I like. So that's the thing that's what matters. You know, it doesn't matter about all this emotional stuff. What's going on with your pocket? So anyway, let's go on to the next person.
Made a huge mistake voting for Biden. Really just a couple of months after Biden took office. And it was a combination of a number of things. Part of it was just the handling of the pandemic. It was the handling of the economy. It's inflation. It's because I voted for someone who's essentially furthering Marxist ideas in our country that I regret voting for him. I mean, it really was a terrible choice. I'm inclined to think that there are still Democrats who believe in who believe in agency and autonomy of the individual. I think that, but I think a lot of the party has been taken over and appropriated by Marxists, and that's not a controversial thing to say. It just simply, a person simply has to look at the policies. A person simply has to, read Paulo Freire or Herbert Marcuse, and then see all of the academic papers coming out of ed schools that cite those two Marxist scholars.
So back in 2020, it was the first time I ever actually.
All right, so that lady, she said she regretted her vote for Biden a couple months in. You know, he started doing things that was just crazy, the Keystone Pipeline, things like that, and she wasn't satisfied. She's a smart woman too. She said she voted for somebody who was pushing Marxist ideology. And that's exactly right. Biden portrayed himself as a moderate, and he's always done that. Biden is not a moderate. Maybe a long time ago, he was not the most radical person in the Senate, but he's also not a conservative Democrat. He's not like a Joe Manchin or anything like that. So Biden basically portrayed himself as a middle of the road Democrat. I'm Uncle Joe, kid from Scranton, lunch bucket Joe, what he calls himself. But this guy's never had a real job his entire life, I don't think. So, and she sees that, and I'm very happy these people are waking up. So let's move on to this girl right here.
Actually decided to vote, and I did vote for Joe Biden because of all the promises he had made. His main point was he's going to help the poor people, but and that the stimulus check. But we didn't get the full stimulus check that he had promised us. He didn't keep any of his promises. He's not helping the poor. The poor are getting poorer. I'm the poor, and I'm getting poorer, so I can barely afford to eat. Groceries are expensive. Gas is expensive. Like, how is gas $5 a gallon? Couch surf right now. I kind of stay with my boyfriend and his mom. My son lives with my parents. Like, I don't want my son to have like a homeless mom, But it seems like everyone's gonna be homeless soon. Like, it's so scary where the world is going. And it makes me seem like, what kind of future do our kids have?
I used to be a Biden supporter. I'm definitely not a Biden supporter anymore. I was anti-Trump. I thought he was a horrible person. I found out completely false. I was told, I believed that he was racist, he was a sexist, womanizer, just all these terrible things, just from the news and media lying on him.
I feel like I had been lied to by the media, telling us Biden's the answer to all the country's problems. Like, that's what I saw him as when I voted for him. And they made Trump kind of the bad guy in the media. But things were a lot better when he was president.
I cannot see any reason why I would be voting Democrat in the next election. As far as looking at 2024, I'm hoping DeSantis runs and he will have my vote. If Trump runs again and wins the primary, he will have my vote as well.
I would actually, I could see myself definitely voting for Trump if he were to run.
I won't be voting for Biden again. That's for sure.
Wow. Unbelievable. And that makes me very happy, by the way. So let's back up a little bit, talk about this girl right here with the glasses, the one that said she's living at her boyfriend's mom's house. So she said she's poor. She thought Biden was going to the stimulus checks. He promised to give people, $2,000 stimulus checks. And then when it came down to it, he said, oh well, we got the 600 from December when that Trump had sent out. And then I'm doing 1,400, so that's 2,000 right there. He lied to people. People actually voted for Biden on the fact they were going to get this $2,000 checks. I mean, I'm not saying that's the sole reason why people did. It could be. But I remember Biden was at a rally, a small rally, because his rallies were not that big. 20 people? He said, no, he was at a rally for one of those guys, I think it was in Georgia. I don't know. But anyway. But he said, yeah, it was a Georgia primary. So anyway, he said, you get these two in the office, and those $2,000 checks will go out the door. So he was using the fact that he's going to sign these, he's using the stimulus check as a way to get people to vote Democrat. And a lot of people fell for that. We didn't need stimulus checks. We already had $1,200 checks sent out from Trump, the Trump administration. And then the economy was getting back on track. The thing is, she said, Biden was going to help the poor. We already had a robust, thriving economy with low gas prices, energy independence. We had that with Trump. So we didn't need Biden to come in here and to fix anything. He didn't need to fix the economy and help poor people, because we already had somebody doing that under Trump. The Trump tax cuts helped out the bottom 10%. It helped them out more than just about anybody. And everybody across the board got a tax cut. Don't let the media lie to you and don't believe it, because I will show you the facts. We can talk about that in a separate video. We can go toe to toe. If there are any liberals out there who want to debate this, I'm ready to come with the facts. You can contact me. Let's go. But anyway, this very intelligent young man, he said that Trump was made out to be the bad guy from the media. He was racist, blah, blah. And he found out that wasn't true. And I think a lot of people found that out. And I would, look, I have a friend who thought the same thing, and we'll interview him soon. And we'll talk about this. It'll be a great interview. But anyway, I bet there are lots of people out there like him. Thousands. Both sides, Hispanic and Latino. Hispanic and black, who felt the same way and found that is not true. So then you had the other lady who said she hoped DeSantis runs, but if Trump wins the primary, she'll vote for him. And I think a lot of people feel that way who were Democrat before. So then you had this young man say he's going to vote for Trump if he runs. And then this girl says, I'm not going to be voting Democrat again. So if Trump does run, she even said things were better when he was in office. If he does run, which he will run, she's not going to be voting for Democrat. And I think a lot of people feel that way. There are millions of people out there like this, and they have a big. It took them seeing the disaster presidency we have right now, with the sky high gas prices and the baby formula shortage, and your life is not improved. And now you have a clear, stark contrast of the two. A lot of people are just going to wake up to that. So, yeah, this is great news. It's unfortunate people had to find out this way, and I wish they would have listened before. But sometimes you just have to find out the hard way, and that's how you learn. Hey, it's better than some people who never wake up. And I know people who never wake up. They're oblivious to all this stuff no matter what you tell them. So that's unfortunate, but hey, that's just the way it is. Let's take the wins where we can. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video right there. I have some good ones coming up. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care.